This video was created by Matachewan First Nation community members. We will be showing you Indigenous perspectives on the cumulative effects of certain practices in the forestry sector that are harming our way of life. We are concerned about two specific practices, herbicide spraying and clear cutting. In each of those two practices, we also have two concerns, the impact on specific species and the lack of understanding of impacts and connections, especially between those practices in areas such as our hunting, language, water, culture, soil, and so much more. We are the caretakers of the land of Matachewan First Nation. These are our forests. We are connected to this land. It is our food. It is our medicine. It is our school. When the earth is harmed, we are harmed. Our landscape has been changed, and even after years of growth, the corridors have proven to not be sufficient. Our birch trees are treated disrespectfully, and the removal of blocks of birch to protect birch species is not adequate as a solution. The spraying of glyphosate is intended to protect species that are wanted, pine, spruce, cedar, and to kill others. This includes birch, which is a sacred species to our community. If the area where birch blocks are removed from are still sprayed, we will lose this important species from these blocks altogether. Exactly what species are lost after a clear cut happens is not known. We need to demand proper resources to research the impacts that these practices have to our land-based traditions, soil health, biodiversity, water quality, and how we honor our ancestors. Loss of old-growth forests take away parts of our history and is just one example of the interconnected impacts. The habitat of wildlife is changed, and their well-being has been impacted. That's their home. They have to leave their home for 5 to 10 years before they can start coming back. Sudden changes in habitat from clear cutting causes wildlife to move to different areas and become easy targets for predators and hunters. All of a sudden, the entire traditional knowledge of our hunters, as well as the behaviors of animals, would both have to be adapted to an entirely new ecosystem. We must think of the generations ahead of us. Runoff from herbicide spraying enters into waterways and wetland ecosystems. Our culture already knows that all animals on the land require water to survive. Birds with nests on spray sites travel between different ponds. Insects that are in vernal pools on sprayed sites are eaten by predators that we then eat. There are not enough studies to prove the long-term cumulative impacts of spraying that addresses the connections in ecosystems and wildlife. Trees that are left as habitat for animals are within areas that are being sprayed, meaning their home is sprayed, which impacts the animals. Animals connect sites together. When calling moose in for hunting, that call can travel up to 8 kilometers. Moose within those 8 kilometers will travel to that call. Here are two sites that are 2 kilometers away from each other. And this site is where moose are called to and hunted. The moose that are hunted have traveled through 4 different sites, where land has been sprayed before it is then hunted and consumed by our people. Because of spraying, our elders have to travel farther and farther into the bush to harvest the plants we need for our food and medicine. This needs to change. We need to work together. This work cannot rest solely on the shoulders of our elders. In order to work through truth and reconciliation, moving forward, we strongly believe that we need to explore together and with open minds new alternative solutions, such as bear bangers, corridors, selective spraying, selective cutting, boots on the ground maintenance, site-by-site management, putting social and environmental well-being at equal consideration to cost, and impact research. We must do this to help Mother Earth, where we all exist together.